Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and I'm your host of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. Are you feeling like you are not being seen? You don't know how to get more visibility in your business. You're not quite sure what to do as a CEO. Well, today is the day because I have Crissy Conner in the house, and she is going to be talking about that and teaching us how to be more visible to people. So without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Like Charisse said, my name is Crissy Conner and I am the Visible CEO. I am not your typical visible CEO. I am the visible CEO who rejected visibility, who is the biggest introvert, who said she never wanted to be in the spotlight, who said she would never speak on stages, who wanted to be the behind the scenes girl for her clients. And the joke was on me because that is not where we were at today. But I have been obsessed with visibility since I finally got over myself and decided to get on video and help others do the same, because not only are so many I see female entrepreneurs not visible, but they're also hiding parts of their business, hence the visible CEO. They're not talking about their offers enough. They're not talking about or identifying their person. So it's not clear and it's invisible who they're talking to. And so when we can really encompass the whole parts of our business and really be clear on those, they're visible to our audience. And at the end of the day, the more visibility and the more clear we are on all those things, we're going to increase our revenue, which is what we all want.
I love that. And I got to be honest, I run in a crowd of a lot of people who they're trying to get their message out. They use funnels or they use different avenues. And some of them, it's been several years and they haven't really launched and they're not sure what they should do or how they should do it. And so I feel like you're speaking to all of them and what to do. So what is your advice? How do you become more visible?
You know, that's an easy question today. Back in the day, that was not an easy question to answer because there are so many fears that we have wrapped up. I mean, the easy answer is go live. Go press record. Like that's the easy answer, right? But there's so much more behind it, mindset wise, that I see that holds us back, specifically female entrepreneurs. We are worried about what people are going to say, how they're going to receive us. Are we going to get canceled? Are we going to get hate? Like we have so many fears wrapped up in it. And one of the things that has helped me the most, and this is very specific for females because we want to help people. At the end of the day, we want to help people, right? We will do things for other people, specifically moms. We will do things for other people, like our children, before we will do them for ourselves. And so my trick to get myself to show up more originally was, it's not about me. It's not about me putting myself on video. It's not about me trying to go viral. It's about me helping the end user, the person who is watching this video. Can I change somebody's minute today? Can I change somebody's hour? Can I change their week? Can I change their life? And if I don't show up today, that person may not hear the message they were meant to hear. And so when you shift it outside of you, like it's not about me, it's about them and it's about serving, it was a game changer for me. It didn't make it like instantly easy, but it made it a heck of a lot easier than I've got to go on video. I'm worried about these things. I have all these fears. Those are very internal and personal to me, right? And my audience just wants the information. They just want to know how I can support them. And so that was just a really big game changer for me.
I love that. And it is true because I once heard someone saying that you have a duty or you have a calling to help people. And if you're not following through on that, then you're being selfish. And
Absolutely.
oh, okay. So what inspired you to start your company?
What inspired me to start my company? So I have to go back a little way. So in 2012, I owned a skincare company, me and my best friend, and we made skincare in our basement, and we had no money. We had no money. We were bootstrapping everything. And so what I did was I learned how to do all the marketing. I learned how to create logos. I learned how to create a website. I learned all of the digital side of things, the social media. It's also the business I was like, I basically I say I did everything wrong in, but I learned a lot in that business. And when that business failed, hello, because we were doing everything wrong and I was not willing to get visible. I would pray to God every single night, please don't select us for this news interview. Please don't select, because I did not want to put my face on camera. I had no desire to get out of my comfort zone. And so basically, when that business ended, I had friends who knew what I had done for our business, being hired by my friends and having referrals hire me to do their social media. I decided, you know what, let me get some actual real experience or get some training on this. And so I hired a coach and a mentor and really got good at it, better at it. And then had so many clients, done for you clients, where I did their social media, I did their paid ads. That I was like, this is a lot of work. And I really feel like I can't breathe. I was making really good money and I really wanted to go into the one to many space. So,
Right.
meaning I'm creating a program for multiple people at a time. And I knew that visibility was my path because it was the fear that I had. It was the mess became my message kind of situation. And the thing is that when I was trying to get on video, this was back in 2016, when I was trying to get on video, everybody that was teaching video was a news anchor, or literally they came out of the womb with a camera in their face, I believe, because none of them understood my pains. And so basically I turned into the mentor and I became the mentor that I wanted. And so for the first 4 or 5 years, I was teaching people how to get on video, and that's just merged and morphed into what it is today. You've got to be visible. Your message has to be visible. We've got to get your offers in the spotlight, because if people don't know what you're selling, they cannot buy from you. And so it really evolved that way, not traditionally, like I'm going to go into business and I'm going to do marketing. It really just, my friends pushed me into it. And then I fell in love with it and realized, okay, this can be so much more. And it's just grown and evolved since 2016, to be honest with you.
I love that story because it's interesting that I love that you said my mess became a message and that you were afraid to do something and so you knew that that was your calling. Because I can't tell you how many times I've talked with people or even myself where I'm like, okay, I really feel like I should do this. This podcast is a perfect example of that.
Mhm.
Time-wise, I don't have time for it, but I just feel like I need to keep going with it. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll just keep doing it. I'll keep doing it. And then it was a girl that I had talked to somehow, and she's like, I just found your podcast. I don't even know how she did. She's like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's exactly what I needed today. And so it's like, oh, okay, I'll just keep going, And so it's just taking the leap. That is, I
Yeah.
think, the biggest fear is if you just take the leap. And I
Yeah.
think that, well, I'm not going to give you my opinion yet. What do you tell people who have been floundering for a little while? What's their first step that you tell them to do?
Floundering and getting visible, or just starting their
Yeah.
business?
Just finally launching.
Okay. Well, I used to be a very indecisive person. And I talk about this a lot. Like I used to have to do pros and cons lists for everything. I couldn't make a decision. I couldn't make a move. And it was really procrastination and fear that was holding me back. And so one of the things that I say, we just got to do it. The more uncomfortable it is, the more of a calling I believe it is to you. Because I used to say that visibility changed my life, but getting uncomfortable changed my life. Visibility changed my business, but it was the thing I didn't want to do that led me to where I am today. And I see this so much because when we're willing to bet on ourselves, when we're willing to take those bigger risks,
Mhm.
that's when the magic happens.
Mhm.
That's when the things that we don't expect to happen because we decide, I'm doing this. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do it. And you know what? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I always tell my clients, you're not going to die by going on video. It's going to be scary. You may suck your first time, but it's just like we all start with 0 followers. We all start with 0 people on our email list. And it's just taking that first step.
Mhm.
And even if it's a cheating first step, like take the first step. Because when I first started getting on live video, I cheated. And let me tell you how you can cheat on live video. You can go to Facebook, and this was 2016. You could put your audience to only me. And so I went live to myself.
Mhm.
And then after I made sure it was good, then I would do public and people would reach out and be like, when did you go live? How did I miss that? Because this is when Facebook would announce it to everybody that somebody was going live. So it was such a big deal. And so you can cheat on things, right? But still make the move, still
Mhm.
make the move. And most of the time, everything that I have ever done that I have procrastinated about or made excuses not to do, when I finally did the thing, it was nowhere near as bad as my brain conjured up that it was going to be.
Yeah.
And so really it's just making it's you got to make the move. You got to make the move. Like there's really no excuses. You just have to take the step. Even if it's a baby step, take the freaking step.
It's true. I was talking with my husband right before this because I won't tell you why. He was telling me some stuff, but I'm like, well, you could like do this, and I just like gave him a huge list of all the things that I have on my plate that's weighing me down right now. And he's like, well, Charisse, I love this. I want you to just pick one or two things today. And if you've accomplished those things, then that's great. And I'm like, oh, thank you, sweetie. I do that every single day. You know, it's called a daily sheet, but it is true. You just take a few bites and then you take another few bites and you take another few bites. And so that way you set your goal and the baby steps to get to that goal. But if you never set the goal and you never give yourself deadlines, then it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm launching my book and doing some workshops, and it was really interesting because I set this date, and it was kind of a save the date thing, more information to follow. And so this lady reached out, okay, Sharice, are we doing it? Like, when are we doing it? And I'm like, next week, right? So it's pushing me, like I committed to the date, and now I have to stay tuned because now people are registered and they've done that. And so if I don't show up, then that's really, really bad. So like if you're having a hard time launching something, set the date and then
Yeah.
make sure that you meet that date.
And
So
don't wait a week before to start showing up
I know
to watch something.
it's true. That's so true. So let's talk about authenticity because in social media world, it's very easy to be fake. And
Mhm.
how do you create authenticity?
I will tell anybody this. They may not always take my advice on this, but number one, live video.
Yeah.
You literally cannot hide because something is going to happen during a live video. When you do it enough, something is going to happen and your real true self is going to show up if she hasn't already. For example, what do I do when my dogs bark? What do I do when my internet connection goes back or starts to go out on live video? How do you show up when a kid needs something, when a dog barks, when somebody's knocking on your door? Like these are real instances that are going to happen. I'll never forget this time that I was on a live video and I was talking about Gary Vee.
Oh yeah.
I had a bookshelf at the time behind my desk
Mhm.
and in my old office, and it had hardwood floors. And I'm talking about Gary Vee. And all of a sudden, the book falls off the shelf, hits the
Wow.
hardwood floor. Funniest thing ever looking back. I mean, it scared the crap out of me because I was like, what just happened? Right. And I remember going back and screenshotting that where I turned because it freaked me out,
Mhm.
but I still kept going. Right. And it was just like, I was laughing because I was like, that was just the spirit of Gary Vee, like
Yeah.
amening what I just said because he totally agreed with it. So these things happen, but they show real life.
Mhm.
They show real life. One of the biggest things about getting on video was me saying, I hated saying And guess what? If I'm trying to get other people on video and they see me saying so much, they're like, "Oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like I can get on video. It's not a big deal." And matter of fact, the other night I saw Taylor Swift had a recorded acceptance of a award. And I could not believe it was recorded. It was not live. I cannot believe how many times she said. And I'm like, this is a billionaire. She is a billionaire and she is saying. And I remember how I was letting that stop me. So I think the more authentic we can be if we say, if we say things weird, if we mess up. I remember I used to in my live videos when I messed up, I would be like, oh my gosh, my internet's going out. And I would literally lie. I would lie on live video and cut my camera out, delete the video, then come back and say the right thing. Now, if I mess up, I'm like, I don't know why I just said that. That's not what I meant to say.
Mhm.
Or where did that come from? I'll just like call myself out on video. And so I love live video for the authenticity, to get back to your question. But it's really knowing who you are. And sometimes we don't have blinders on when it comes to social media and we want to do things like everybody else. But here's the thing. Let's say you're acting like somebody else. That's not who you really are. And then somebody hires you. they're not going to be satisfied with the services, the coaching, whatever it is that you do, because who you showed up as online is not who you really are. So there is a major disconnect. And the one thing that I have loved is that my clients don't leave, like they stay, because who I am on social media
Mhm.
is who I am. Matter of fact, I'm probably more spicy to them than I am on social media, but it is this like you don't want to build a facade.
Yeah.
You want to have people connect with you. And the great thing about video and visibility is that you will repel and attract people at the same time. And
Hmm.
that's what we want. We want people who want to work with us. We don't want people that we annoy, because if we try to hide the annoying or what they think is annoying, right? And then they hire us, again, they're not going to be satisfied with our services because we're going to annoy them. So it's like, be who you are, because authentically you'll attract and repel at the same time. And it's just better for business. It's better for your brand. And it's going to create longevity of clients in your world.
I love that. And that's exactly like my podcast because I realize when I watch going back and I edit, I take everyone's ums out. So maybe I should not take your ums out. I don't even hear any. But I didn't realize how much I moved in my chair. Just different things. And I thought, you know what? If people don't like that, then there's plenty of podcasts out there. They can listen to something else. But I really love that authenticity because it is. I hate when, oh, I shouldn't say this, but well, when someone asks to be on my show, right? So they send me to their link and I look at all their pictures. And so I'm expecting to see that person and the person on the camera shows up. I'm like, okay, and it's just like catches me off guard for a second. Then I'm like, let's go. I don't care. But it's very interesting to see. And speaking from someone who the last time I had professional pictures done for my business was 5 years ago, I'm like, I think I'm a little different now. I probably should get new ones.
Yeah,
And so I think that it's all those different things that you have to think about is who are you? And I love the attract and repel thing because it's very true. You don't want to have everybody. You don't. And the people, especially the ones that are difficult, you definitely don't want those people. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
of course. Yeah.
So let's talk about self-leadership. I know that you talk about that a lot. And so what is self-leadership, first of all?
To me, it's how you lead yourself, because I believe anyone who's planning on building a business and you are going to get visible on social media, whether you want to know this or not, you are a leader. You are leading and influencing and impacting people in some way, shape, or form. So if I am going to lead other people, I cannot lead them until I know how to lead myself. And this is one of the most powerful things, like understanding the value of personal power, understanding the value of extreme ownership, like owning the integrity. What are you doing behind the scenes? Like all of these things, I believe, are part of self leadership. Because again, how am I going to lead myself, or how am I going to lead other people if I can't lead myself?
Mhm.
And I love this aspect of we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Days are not going to go the way we planned.
Mhm.
Results aren't always going to be the way that we thought, right? The day could be like, it's like that arrow or that chart. It's like up and down, up and down, up and down, the life of an entrepreneur. That's in a day, people. That's not even in the life of an entrepreneur. That's in one day you can feel that way. And I look at self-leadership as, okay, things are not going well today. Nothing is going my way. So I can quit, which is really easy to do, right? We can all walk away. It's way easier to quit this business than it is to keep going. Or I can decide to make a decision to recommit right there in that moment. So, what am I going to do? Where is self leadership taking me? What would I tell my clients?
Mhm.
How am I going to move like I would mentor and coach other people to move? And so, it really is about that extreme ownership, that radical responsibility, owning owning who you are and who you say you are, more back to that authenticity, right? And showing up accordingly.
I love that. And I also want to add something to that because when we talk about self-leadership, like there's a few times where a client might decide not to go with you, or you're going far along and they hire you, but then they fire you. So it's really easy to have this negative talk like, you know what, see, you are awkward. And you don't know how to communicate with people and you don't know how to interact. Like any weaknesses that you ever thought or come out to you, I'm sharing vulnerable moments, I guess. But this past week, all of a sudden I'm driving down the road and all these thoughts come in like you are just weird. And that's why people don't want to work with you or blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, wait a second. And so the self-leadership I want to add where it's you have to be able to lead yourself out of that negative space and get you to the positive side because a lot of times if you let the people call it imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, if you let that be really loud, it can be very detrimental to you and take you down pretty quick. So that I've never thought of your terminology like it's so powerful. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think we have to recommit many times a day. I think we have to readjust our attitudes many times a day,
Yeah.
because things happen.
Yeah.
And this is, I love, like, I would even add that self-leadership is working on yourself, your emotional intelligence, because life is not going to be perfect, right? And how you hold yourself and how you handle yourself in those situations when a client decides to leave early, when a client their payment declines, like how do you show up after that? How can you show up as the leader that you say you are? It's a big deal, and I love this quote, and your business will never outgrow you. So if you're not willing to grow yourself, your business is going to bottom out. It's going to flatline. Something's going to happen. So if you are working on yourself, your business is going to be able to go right there with you. And I just love that analogy.
I agree. And when you were talking about that, I love continuing education to the point I've spent too much money on it. And I go to lots of conferences because I love it. But I've now asked myself, because I'm now to the point where I've learned all the stuff I need to learn, I now need to launch this. And so then I'll go to another conference because I'm trying to hide and like, oh wait. And so that hampers me. And so last week we did, I took my son to a conference and it was to me, it was not like I'd rather be home working on my business than sitting here because it's I'm not getting the value I need. And I
Yeah.
think that we have to sometimes say that to ourselves is absolutely we need to grow, but don't get caught up in the weeds of just learning, 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 and never applying because
Yeah.
that, speaking from experience, can be detrimental.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we get on these like learning,
Yeah.
investing kicks.
Uh-huh.
And if you're not implementing
Mhm.
or executing the things, then you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to start like doubting yourself. And so,
You
yes,
go broke.
always go first. It's the I go first model. I'm not going to tell you what to do because I'm over here moving and then I'll tell you what to do.
No, I agree. I love that. Okay, so if you were sitting on a park bench next to your new business self, that little new business leader, what advice, now that you know what you know, what advice would you give her?
I would tell her two things: get over yourself and get visible and start building relationships, because those things will serve you more
Mhm.
throughout your time as a business owner than anything else.
I love that. I was telling my husband I'm meeting with someone today. It's a referral. It's going to be pretty nice. And he's like, Charisse, your clients take really good care of you. And I
Mm.
said, it's because I take really good care of my clients. And I
Yeah,
said, people that I've worked with 5 years ago, I still stay in touch and we still do things for. And so I think that relationships is the key. If you have those relationships, it's good. Any other
absolutely.
parting words of advice?
I think I like to tell people to take a look, because I think sometimes we all think that we're visible or we're visible enough. And visibility isn't just video, it's many different facets, but really take a look at your business and find out what's hiding.
Mhm.
What's hiding in your business? Do like an audit, a self audit on your business. Are the offers getting as much of the spotlight as you think they should be, right? Or as they should be. Talking about an offer three times is not going to sell it, right? Like understanding that we're always refining as a business owner. And if we're not refining, we're still hiding something. So always be refining, always be checking out, where am I hiding? Because as human beings, we'll always have places where we decide to, oh, take the step back
Mhm.
because we're hiding something, and just be very clear about that. And one of the things, I don't know if you'll put this in the show notes, but I have a quiz
Mhm.
that is the Visible CEO quiz, and it's 12 questions and will tell you exactly where it feels that you aren't being as visible as you think or you think you are, and how you can improve that. And so that's one of the things I created just to help people see, where am I missing the point in this.
I love that. And absolutely will be in the show notes. So thank you. Well, if people want to find you, how would they do that? I can see it's Crissy Conner right there, but
Yes,
how?
it's thevisibleceo.com, or it's Crissy Conner on pretty much every social media platform.
That is very creative. I'm like, I need to do that with mine, the ideas. So it's a great idea. Well, thank you so much for being on. And it's been very helpful for me. So thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
So I want to go to the mom side of things real quick. And I just want to ask, how do you juggle your business with being a mom?
It's easier now than it used to be, don't get me wrong. But one of the things that I did, so my daughter was smaller when I was running my skincare business and early in this business, and I got her involved and let her create marketing ideas. And she had a whiteboard or she had sheets and she would create posters for my business. And so she would have so much fun doing that. Sometimes getting on video today, she'd be like, no way, I'm not doing that. But like back then, she would love to, or organizing things. And I think sometimes we are like, oh, just don't, I can do this myself. It's going to be way less stressful. But just letting them have little pieces to be involved. My sons, when I ran the skincare business, like they were our muscle. So they would carry things when we'd set up at events and things like that. But even today, like my stepson runs a social media company as well. And so we're always like talking and bouncing ideas off of each other. When they're younger, see if you can get them involved or let them feel like they're a part of it because they're going to respect and love it so much more. And then when they're older, ask for their feedback and get them involved like verbally. And then I ask my daughter, like sometimes I'm like, I'm going to post this TikTok. Will this embarrass you? And she's like, I don't care. It's fine. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. First of all, that you ask permission,
Yeah.
but then she's okay. So that's cool. I love
Yeah.
that. So, what advice would you give to a new mom? Because obviously you have the gamut of ages. So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to a new mom?
New mom. Oh my gosh. Like probably it's so like the thing that everybody says, it goes by so fast. Like so fast. Have fun. Yes, there are going to be stressful moments, but those fun moments, like those that's what's going you're going to remember forever. And I think a lot of times we're waiting on the milestones, just like in business, right? Like I can't wait till they can walk. I can't wait till they do this. Can't like enjoy the moments when they can't
Mhm.
because those are the least amount of your time with your kids, right? Those don't last very long. And I even see this with my grandchildren. Like it just happens so fast. Incorporate them, even if you are running a business or whatever you're doing, find ways to incorporate them, wear them, whatever it is, because again, those moments you will never get back, and time does fly.
It does. It does. I love that advice. So, thank you so much. So, moms, be visible. It is so important. If you're trying to get your business out there, like you have to be visible. You have to have the relationships. And I love self-leadership. That's actually going to be my word for the next month is self-leadership because it is so important to do that and be authentic and cherish the moments, I think is something else. So, Crissy, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
And moms, go out and make it a great day. Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.